Hey everybody, welcome to PrestoCon Day. This is an awesome day and we're so excited to kick things off. It's going to be a day full of all things Presto and we are thrilled to get the community around the world together virtually for a day of learnings and networking and seeing what's new with the open source Presto project. I'm joined by Curt, the chair of the Presto Foundation, senior manager of engineering at Uber, and I am Ali Leclerc. Hopefully you've seen my name if you're here, but I'm the PrestoCon chair and I work with open source at IBM. So before I kind of get things started here today, I wanted to just take a minute to do one quick housekeeping note regarding our event code of conduct. All attendees should feel welcome and included. We take this very seriously. So if you do have any issues, please let us know immediately. Second, I have to just give a shout out to our sponsors. Without these sponsors, it's very hard to do community events like these. So we really appreciate you all. IBM as our premier sponsor, Uber as our partner sponsor, and a shout out to our community sponsor, the Women in Big Data Group. Really appreciate your support of this event and of open source Presto in general. We are truly grateful. So let's talk about the challenges for today's engineer. Three kind of quick things come to mind. As we talk to more of our community and we hear more from the data engineers, the architects, the platform teams that are working with Presto, we continue to see these three kind of key themes surface as challenges that they face in their kind of day-to-day work working with compute engines, with data stacks, with data infrastructure. The first of which is this idea of different engines for different workloads. Traditionally, this means you're most likely going to have to re-platform down the road. Managing multiple query languages and the interfaces for siloed systems. This is also a big challenge that many data architects are talking about today. And then finally, about costs associated with data infrastructure. Typically, as your workloads grow, your compute needs grow, your infrastructure costs grow. So that brings us to Presto, why we're here today. Presto, as many of you know, is the fast and reliable SQL for data analytics and the open data lakehouse. So for data engineers who struggle with managing multiple languages and interfaces to those siloed databases and storage, Presto is the fastest and the most reliable engine that provides one simple ANSI SQL interface for all of your data analytics and your open data lakehouse. So kind of looking at it from a higher level, the ability to quickly and easily extract insights from large amounts of data is increasingly important to many of these tech-enabled organizations that we are talking to every day. There is so much structured and semi-structured data that's becoming easier and cheaper to store in data lakes, in addition to leveraging all those real-time and streaming data systems. So using SQL directly on the data lake, on the data lakehouse, and across other federated data stores can make data analytics accessible to more people within an organization. And specifically when it comes to the lakehouse, Presto today is powering some of the world's largest SQL data lakehouses in production at Meta, Uber, Bolt, IBM, and a bunch of other large companies. So really it's through one single interface, Presto can act as more than just a query engine as it sits at that core of your data ecosystem and helps it to tie it all together by solving those data problems at scale. While Presto is a federated engine, the primary focus is analytics on the lakehouse as the majority of data will be stored there. So that's why we'll be talking a lot about the lakehouse today. So why Presto? Let's go back to those challenges that I talked about a few slides ago. The first of which was different engines for different workloads, which could mean replatforming down the road, managing multiple interfaces and languages for siloed systems, and the data infra costs. So how does Presto help solve for those? One language. So Presto is one familiar ANSI SQL language. It's one interface, one common interface for querying data in the lakehouse and other data sources. It's reliable. You can scale deployments that execute queries very reliably, and it's efficient. It's cost effective and it's optimized for large numbers of queries. Today, you're also going to hear a lot about Presto 2.0. Presto 2.0 is what we're calling the next gen Presto C++ engine, and we believe that this is the future of Presto. What is it? It's a full rewrite of the Presto query execution engine to C++. Right now, we're seeing anywhere from 3 to 4x improvement in performance and scalability. And this is an ongoing community effort across many different companies, including Meta, IBM, Uber, ByteDance, Neuroblade, and many more. Presto 2.0 is our goal to make Presto the best open data lakehouse engine in the market. Again, you'll be hearing from several people today in many different sessions about what is going on in Presto 2.0, some of the latest benchmarking numbers, what our vision is and what we see for Presto 2.0, and so much more. So we are really excited to talk more about it today. And please stick around for those sessions because there's going to be some really great content that's brand new for our community. Okay, with that, I'm going to pass things over to Curt, who's going to tell us a little bit more about what's going on with Presto at Uber. So Curt, please take it away.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ali, to provide so many useful information. So we know that the Presto Foundation and community is growing a lot. At Uber, we're the same. As the business is growing a lot, our usage of Presto SQL is also growing a lot. So you can see from this picture, we have the real-time Pinot integration. We slightly modified the Presto engine to support the real-time use cases with high throughput and latencies. And also we have the Presto as the main engine to support interactive and small batch ETL traffic. Something we need to mention is over the last couple of years, the team is investing a lot to make Presto support the ETLs integrated with the hoodie writers and securities. A lot of engineer efforts going there. And we can integrate with a lot of dashboarding and reporting and microservices. And something remarkable to be mentioned is in the last year, Presto on Spark is widely adopted inside Uber to support large scales the batch and ETL traffics. So now if we look at the Presto footprint inside Uber, we have real-time supporting the Pinot, and we have interactive batch, and we have large-scale batch on the POS. So something additional I want to mention is in this year, we also began to support the Pinot deep store segment read. So in the later sessions, we're going to provide some more details over there. So on to the next slides, please. So I want to talk about more about Velox at Uber, which is Presto native. So we both know that the infrastructure cost is one of the most important things in all the companies. In the Uber is the same. As we know, like Uber is sort of in transition from the on-prem to the cloud. So one of the key factors is how to reduce the compute cost. So in the 2023 H2, the team spent some engineer effort to do the benchmark POC to work with the Uber dataset, and we found some amazing improvements about the efficiency. We're also working on the environment setup of the Velox at Uber. Heading on this year H1, we are spending a team to working a lot. So we build the native development process, integrate with dev tools, CIs, buildings, and logins. And we also integrate Velox with our native metrics integrations. And of course, we solve a lot of native worker reliability issues, some crashes, some library dependency issues. And we also invest more on the query verification process. So thanks for the community to provide the verifier infrastructure. We work on that. And on top of that, we also do some back shadowing of our traffic to make sure we have some efficiency gains from the Velox clusters. Heading over to the next, in H2, we're going to invest more on the engineer resource. For example, we are going to look at the call dumps and the memory profiling tools. And also, Uber team is invest a lot of engineer efforts to do the packet features, include the push downs and the decodings and also the securities. On the 2025 and the year after, we are planning to invest more engineer resource, include the packet writers, local cachings, and also the different kinds of operator improvements. And we are looking at Velox to integrate with other systems, include Gluten, Spark, and even ML workloads. So it's a lot of exciting things going on inside Uber. So we want to really working with the OSS community to deliver these features. Back to you, Ali. Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. That is so great to see. Thank you so much, Curt. So with that, let's talk about what's in store for today. Who will you hear from? We have several of our users, our community users and our champions talking more about how they use Presto, some of the kind of more bread and butter use cases, how a lot of our community users use Presto today. So those are companies like Apna, Tessalot, WSO2, Rippling, Boeing, sharing more about the work they're doing with Presto at their companies. We also have a bunch of our ecosystem partners, OneHouse, Neuroblade, Upsolver, Lance, DB, Alexio, sharing more about the work they're doing for integrations, for connectors, all within the open source. And then, of course, our committers and contributors. So Meta, IBM, Uber, just to name a few, sharing more about the engineering work they're doing with the engine itself. So it's going to be an awesome day. We hope you can stick around to the end because all the sessions are going to bring some really cool new content to the community. So I want to take a few minutes to talk about the Presto Foundation. As you may know, Presto, the open source project, is part of the Linux Foundation, and this is something that we believe is very important. We are community driven, we are open, and we are a neutrally governing board that sits behind the Presto open source project. It's made up of 3 different boards. We have the governing board, we have the Presto Technical Steering Committee board, and we have the Outreach Committee board. And really the intent here is to build out a cross-functional, again, neutrally governed project where we have, say, from across many of our member companies, all working together to advance Presto open source, both from an engineering perspective as well as a community perspective. Our principles and goals are guided by 3 main principles. Our Presto Foundation is guided by 3 main principles. Again, it's that one open, neutral, and united community. It's all about being open, being transparent with the leadership and the technical direction of the project. And here, no one individual or company is greater than the project and its community. And again, we live by these, we abide by these, and we truly believe in these as a Presto Foundation. You can read more about it on our GitHub if you are interested. Okay, so with that, I am happy to get ready for the day. Please join us and through our many community channels, whether it's the Slack channel, join it if you're not there. This is kind of where you can ask your questions, where you can connect with the community. It's the place to be. So join the Slack channel. Of course, we welcome contributions to the project. We have meetup groups across the world in addition to our virtual meetup group. And then we have a lot of working groups, specifically on architecture, on the optimizer, and on the native worker. If you're interested in any of those topics, there is a working group open to anybody to join, and we recommend it as a really great way to kind of get started in a specific area of Presto. Okay, with that, looking forward to a great day. Again, we hope you stick around. All of these sessions are going to be really awesome, and we're looking forward to an awesome day of all things Presto. Feel free to use the chat. Welcome, introduce yourself. We love to hear where you're dialing in from, what your experience with Presto is. We want to make this as interactive as possible. So please use the chat function as well as to ask questions of the presenters. So with that, thank you so much. We are looking forward to a great day. And next up, we have Tim Meehan, who is our Presto Foundation TSC chair, and we'll be sharing a little bit more about where we have come, where we're going, what our vision is, and so much more. Thanks, everyone.